this was a message movie, clearly, but yet it was cloaked in this, goofy comedy. On the surface, it looks like it's just going to be this stupid thing, but they're really saying something in the movie.
I'm Heit.
And I'm Cheri.
And you've discovered Axiom Amnesia.
We want to thank all of the supporters who helped to make this video possible. If you want your name to appear alongside these contributors, make a one-time donation via Cash App, or you can head on over to patreon.com/Axiom Amnesia to enjoy all of the benefits of becoming a monthly subscriber.
I'm really excited about this movie. It is Don't Look Up, and it's on Netflix right now. At least at the time of this filming, it was.
What is the movie about? So before we get started, this is kind of like a parallel universe or a sequel to Idiocracy, and there are going to be spoilers in this video, so you might want to go and watch it first if you haven't and you care about spoilers.
That's right. And while you're at it, just go ahead and subscribe to the channel anyway. Give us a thumbs up on this video before we get started, because we know you're going to like it anyway. Don't Look Up is the story of basically these scientists who find out that this big old giant asteroid doomsday event is going to happen. It's going to hit Earth.
Probably the last time it was this close to the sun was long before human civilization.
And of course, they, send the smoke signal up all of the chains of command, and they finally get to the top. And the people at the top don't care too much, meaning the president of the United States and all of the national security people and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it reminds me of is it Distinguished Gentleman? The one where Eddie Murphy, he runs and he gets elected and stuff. It kind of reminds me of that, because I think it is kind of realistic in the sense where they go to talk to the president and his cabinet and her cabinet and stuff. And then nothing happens. They have you wait around forever. You got this news that needs to be told, this information, and they just politically we got these elections, and after you done waited a long time.
Well, and I mean, the thing is, they only have a matter of months to figure out how they're gonna fight this off. This isn't something that you're like, oh, in 15 years this thing is gonna hit, so they got to figure out what to do, but it's constantly being weighed against politics. And it's like they don't see the forest for the trees.
Right. Yeah. And then it's the same thing when it comes to entertainment and even news, which they portray as mostly entertainment.
Yes, which is probably accurate if you're talking about 2022.
Yeah.
So the other parallel that I couldn't help but see is the fact of what we know we've got going on in the world right now. And this element of... I'm going to upset some people.
I know more than the generals.
I know more about ISIS than the generals do, believe me.
Yes, of just that either people who completely don't care, right? Totally apathetic. People who would like to bury their heads in the sand and don't look up. As long as I don't see something is going to happen, it's not going to happen. So, we see that every day with people who are in denial about perhaps, medical symptoms that they could be having. And then they go around other people and they continue,
right now,
the spread of things.
As we film this, people are talking about, oh, it's just a cold, when it's COVID.
So I couldn't help but see the parallels in that, and it's weird because a few years ago, before all of this was happening in our world, I could only imagine what it would be. You could sort of imagine what the response would be. But now that we've had a real life opportunity to see it, you realize how screwed up things are.
Yeah. And it kind of happened years ago when we were in Dallas. We kind of got an idea, but we weren't able to relate it with Ebola.
Yes.
It was right down where all this happened was right down the street from us.
Before sunrise, emergency officials were knocking on the doors of this apartment complex in Dallas, alerting people that a fellow resident had tested positive for Ebola.
And I don't think anyone was really all that, hey, we need to contain this from the general public stance. It was more in the medical, and
we weren't afraid of it either. We were not afraid of it in terms of thinking that we shouldn't go to the grocery store or we should stay away from...
or we should wear gloves and stuff when we're out, because this was more, contact with actual, fluids.
And of course, Ebola is very different. It's not this incubation period like what we have now in asymptomatic people. Right. If you got it, you're going to know you got it and it's going to be over pretty quick.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, with our Deep Dive on Demand, we don't pick the film, you do. And for $75, we take it from there and do the deep analysis, and you'll receive on-screen executive producer credit, and you can get yours through the link in the description.
When we looked at that and how people responded, it could have been a clue of how it would happen later on, because I remember talking to people and they were saying, oh, it's not that serious. And then they always come with the numbers. Oh, car accidents, this number and blah, blah. And then it's, and then we saw that now. And that's kind of like an attitude that people had in the film.
Well, and the thing is, it's always like, okay, we have numbers. How will those numbers be used? And, one of the biggest things I took away when I think about business school, I think about one of the classes on statistics and the use of numbers, and how numbers and statistics can pretty much be manipulated, especially in marketing, because that was one of my concentrations. They can be manipulated to say almost anything. And because the average person in the population doesn't fully understand the implications of things beyond kind of like basic math. And this is not to say people are stupid. This is just that, our understanding of it is going to be limited, the same way as we hope that scientists know more than us so that they can make recommendations. But we have to recognize that the recommendations that scientists make even today are filtered through the lens of what people who are not scientists feel would be repercussions politically and socially.
Yeah, exactly. So, and with statisticians, right? Like, people can read you stats and you could show me the same numbers and stuff. But the people who are experts at that are the ones you probably should lean more towards when it comes to telling me what these numbers mean or what these numbers say, because I'm, just not equipped for someone who does this every day. And you had these two scientists who were going around and Don't Look Up, and it was kind of at the same time like, it's not that important, we're worried about other things. And also when they were in a meeting with the president, how sure are you?
100% certainty of impact.
Please don't say 100%.
Where's your degree from?
Right.
In that sort of way.
All of the pedigree sorts of issues.
And we should get some of our scientists on this,
And Dr. Mendy is a tenured professor of astronomy at Michigan State.
Sorry, did you say Michigan State? Come on, bro.
I mean, again, these are things that point more so to social hierarchy and stuff like that. But the things that are important. But then here's this team who found the asteroid heading to Earth. And they're questioning, hey, how real is this? Oh, well, how can we spin this? This, these are the politicians saying this. And, at the end of the day in this movie, nobody wanted to listen. So then they kind of have to go on this tour, so to speak, to try to, go on TV shows and get people to actually listen, because the channels that should have listened didn't listen. Right.
When they first went to the media, I believe they were bumped up against Riley, Ariana Grande's character, who is an entertainer, a singer, and whatever issues or drama she had going on with her boyfriend. They're just with this news that in 6-7 months, the Earth is going to be destroyed, or life on Earth. And they just have to still sit back and more waiting, right? So we can get through the important news of what's going on with this celebrity.
But the other part in the movie that I liked also was just how your personal situation feeds into it, right? Because we had this scientist, the Leonardo DiCaprio's character, who, never really got any shine in his life. He had a nice family and everything like that. But how susceptible he became to his own ego as he started to become this sort of rock star, and becoming the rock star of, the scientist who's on the committee and all that stuff, changed him and had him muting himself, had him not telling the full truth that you saw the other female scientist, telling, and being made out to be this tinfoil hat crazy woman. Right. Because she was telling the truth.
Are we not being clear? We're trying to tell you that the entire planet is about to be destroyed.
Exactly. So I seen comments about this, when people bring it up on social media, and it seems to be the deniers now who just basically want to flat out not watch the movie or say it's bad, right? But it's actually showed that from both sides of this, Don't Look Up versus Look Up, that there is some corruption or whatever you want to call it there, or dishonest people. are people not acting in the best interest of humans? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was just like this news from Kate was just so important. She just yelled it out. And now because you're yelling out something of importance, then you're immediately a kook, right? Yeah. Juxtaposed with the people going crazy over a celebrity or just normal and, what everyone should be okay with, I guess, or invested in.
What this movie made me think also was just that the people who were actors in this movie, it made me have more respect for them. Because I feel that this was a message movie, clearly. But yet it was cloaked in this, goofy comedy. On the surface, it looks like it's just going to be this stupid thing. But they're really saying something in the movie. And so now I'm like, Leonardo DiCaprio, okay, Jennifer Lawrence, and even Tyler Perry and other people who were in the movie. It made me say, okay, I think maybe they get something. And I mean, the obvious thing going on in the world right now as a parallel just seems like an easy leap to make. So.
Yeah. What do you think about the whole don't look up aspect of it? Where this whole catchphrase came from, right? Well, the asteroid was coming. It got near Earth or in the path of Earth where you could actually see it in the sky. Mm-hmm. And then, because there were people who weren't believing it now because you had these propaganda campaigns or whatever. And they say, oh, you could see it. Look how beautiful it is, even though it's coming to destroy. But just look up.
That's it. That's the comet. Look, it's right there.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then you got the people who are counter to that.
Anti.
Yeah, the anti saying, don't look up. So then no one was looking up to see that. Look what's going on right here. It's right in your face. You can see it. Yeah. You don't need the numbers. You don't need the scientists. You don't need any of that stuff we talked about. All you have to do is look up.
And on some level, I think that's the piece that we all forget when we defer to everybody else. But I think we just see so many different types of reactions to what happens in the world, right? You have the people who are the don't look up people. You have the people who are the I'm looking up and I see all kind of stuff and they're overblowing things. And then you have people who are like, I'm just going to defer and whatever this person says is what I'm doing. And then you have the people who are, the you have the don't look up people. Yeah. Completely.
And, I think of it as kind of like an analogy too, where it's the more general sense of look up to space or even to, your God or whatever, right? But look up out into the stars. That's one way that we got a better understanding of where we are and who we are here on Earth. Like the pale blue dot, I believe the picture is called, and, the first images from the moon of the Earth, when you're looking out there, then you get a better understanding or more appreciation of how connected we are and, about be more connected to our humanity.
And it gives some perspective, right, of what our position is in the world and the universe. We are just but a dot here for such a temporary blink in the eye of time, And that's definitely...
And for the flat earthers, right? Just look up.
Yeah, so just look up. We have, even the flat earthers, and I think about, what was his name?
Oh, yeah. Mad Mike.
Right, Mad Mike. We'd done a story on him a few years back, who's the guy who it was a flat earther, and he wanted to prove that the earth was flat. And at that time, we had covered him, and he had launched his own little rocket where he flew up in it, and eventually, within the next couple of years, he died as a result of a crash with the rocket, trying to prove his theories about that.
Moments after launching, a homemade rocket crashed into the open desert in California Saturday. On board, Mike Hughes. It would be the final act of the self-styled daredevil known as Mad Mike.
And
what? And
I don't even, it's just like, yeah, that's all I can say.
Yeah. It's, just look up. But
And also, in the meantime, a lot of you all are missing videos because you're not getting your YouTube notifications. We have fixed this. Just subscribe to our mailing list for personalized notifications of all of our videos as they are released across all of our channels. You're just going to get an email and it'll let you know, and you'll be able to look and see all of the movies that came out or the videos that came out that week. The link is in the description.
So I like that they came up with this phrase, because now, we're in an era of catchphrases or hashtags, right? Mm-hmm. Where all it takes is, you get behind this mantra, and then it's really able to shape what people think, what people believe, and how people go forth in life in terms of activism or just day-to-day life, and what they're willing to let happen, right?
What did you think? Do you think the movie was funny?
I don't think it was funny. I just liked it for what it was. Like, one satire, I guess it's just a satire, that I really like was Thank You for Smoking. Right? That was, like, for many years, one of my favorite movies. And let us know if you want us to talk about that, because it's a really good movie. And let me know if you've seen it.
And go ahead and subscribe, too, while you're at it. Go ahead.
Yeah. But I don't think that this got the same laughs from me. It's just more of the, okay, you're telling this story in a satire. And I don't think satire has to actually be gut-busting funny.
Well, I think that it was clearly supposed to be funny. It's just that it was my kind of humor. It was not most of the time, which I was okay with because I thought it was a great movie. I didn't have to laugh. The funniest point to me that I don't know why it just cracked me up so much was toward the end when Ariana Grande is singing her heart out. And her voice is amazing. And she's singing like this is a real song that she's singing with real passion. And it's like, you about to die and you about to get messed up. Just look
It's funny. It's kind of like there's a sneaker show on, I believe it's Netflix or something, but there's a show about sneakers, maybe HBO, where this one guy, he have a song like Fuck the Planet Up, basically. And they keep playing that song to tell people to pollute and, destroy the earth. It's kind of in that same vein.
It's like nuts. But, again, the people were so mesmerized. And then, you saw the anti-rally at the same time from the president and her, team and whatnot.
Yeah.
Well, toward the end,
somebody looked up.
They looked up and everything like that. But at the very end, you have the elite people, right?
Oh, yeah.
They escaped the earth on their ark, right? They're out of there.
To go destroy another place.
Oh, my God.
It holds 2,000. It's state-of-the-art cryo chambers, and it's set to find the nearest Earth-like planet in a Goldilocks zone, so...
Because, it's that you could have saved everyone, but because that human instinct to live, I'm going to just get out of here at the last minute, when you possibly didn't even have to do that. But it was, one of the things was politics, and another was corporatism that was really driving the Don't Look Up movement. Right? It's, this asteroid is coming towards Earth. How can we monetize this? And then get the scientists on board to tell everyone that the monetization of it is the most valuable path forward, Yeah,
so the question that I think you have is, what would you have done if you didn't have the Ark? And why didn't you do that? And see, to me, that's the moral part of it, which, when we talked about other movies, by the way, we did this whole series on True Story from a Netflix, short series. It had 6-7 episodes, starring Kevin Hart. And let me just say this, because a lot of you didn't want to watch a Kevin Hart, because you just didn't like Kevin Hart. And, it took a minute for me because I didn't want to see it in the beginning either. And Heit saw it and said, hey, you got to watch this. So we're saying, hey, you got to watch this to the people who don't like Kevin Hart, because actually forget about him. Wesley Snipes carries the movie as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And
it's
give
good.
it a try. It's good. It really is not typical of a Kevin Hart film.
Yeah, often you don't hear us just say, this is good. So this is good.
Listen, really, it is good. And then after you watch it, go ahead and check out our series. I'll be sure to link that in the description. Back to Don't Look Up. So yeah, what would you have done though if you didn't have the Ark? But you always knew you had an out. And so... It makes me think about people who have way more money than everybody else. And you're making decisions for the people who have way less than you have. You know that regardless of what you choose, you're going to be okay.
Right. And then you're starting these campaigns, not political campaigns, but these campaigns, these movements to have people push you further in a direction. Maybe it's even detrimental to the way you want things to be, but it's still propelling you in some way and you will survive it. Where most of the people who are following you is not acting in their best interest. And, you know, that's what we got from this movie.
Yeah, and we see that every day. And, you know, the other part is, how do you get your ticket, right? How do you become one of those people? So as the scientist, you're not naturally, you know, part of the elite that would have had a seat on the Ark. But because you were part of discovering the asteroid and all that, hey, now you can get your seat on the Ark. Let me offer you and a +1.
Well, basically. And you supported it, right?
And you supported it.
You supported the corporate side of it to try to extract whatever.
Right. You get your seat. And so that's always the temptation, right? Because when you're fighting for the things that are for the little man, when you're still a little man, it makes a whole lot of sense. But it's very easy to become impotent after a while when you start getting all of the kickbacks, all of the money, all of the accolades, when you start feeding your own ego, just like, you know, the Leonardo DiCaprio's character did. You know, he starts sleeping with the, you know, I guess hot TV chick, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And, you know, his wife is like more of a plain Jane, but she's been there the whole time for him, you know, and through everything that he's been through. But, you know, in these moments, his ego was still susceptible to fame and all of the trappings and fortune.
Yeah. And then, but part of it is they tried to make him an empathetic character because he did go to the other scientists about it. And it still was part of him that was like, what I'm doing is wrong.
Yeah.
You know, but I just.
And he did the right thing in the end, but it was just too late.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it was just too late.
Which is a message in itself, right?
Yeah.
Look up before it's too late.
I don't know. So this movie made me laugh, but it also was a reminder that made me a little sad in a way. But it's definitely worth a watch. You guys should definitely check this movie out.
Yeah, I agree with that. Go to the comments, let us know what you think, like this video, and subscribe. But if you go to the description, you will see a Discord link. That's a server that we have where we can have voice chat and text chat about these movies and TV shows that we like and don't like.
Yep, we'll be there to join you when you join. So thanks a lot. Leave some comments about this movie and other movies. If there's something you think we should watch and talk about, let us know, because we're always happy to discuss stuff with you.
If you made it this far, type
before it's too late
in the comments so we'll know you're one of the real ones who stick around to the end.
And be sure to check out one of the videos that's on the screen right now. And also be sure to visit axiom.app, where you'll find all of our recent videos in one place so that you can watch them here on YouTube, because they got links there. And check out our merch while you're there.